I'm Ainesh Patnaik, student of sixth semester in electrical engineering, RV College of Engineering in Bangalore. So we have a course called Principles of Management and Economics. And as a part of this course, I have to do an experiential learning project. So I will be taking an interview, which is a part of this project,
Mhm,
which I'm working on, where we
mhm,
are exploring how different levels of leadership within a global organization, like HSBC, how they approach key aspects of management, like decision
mhm,
making, leadership, motivation, planning, etc. Involved. So your insights will be
mhm,
very invaluable in providing a comprehensive view of how
mhm,
management practices they differ from across roles. So we will be interviewing different roles so that
mhm,
I will understand how each role contributes to the overall organization's success. So I greatly
mhm.
appreciate your participation. I thank you very much, and I look forward to learning from your experiences. Just before we
Oh,
start, to make the most of our time together today, I'd appreciate it if you could keep the answers a little brief, because we have
sure,
some time constraints. So yeah,
sure.
if you're comfortable, we can start with our
Yeah,
set of questions.
absolutely. Start off. Yeah, start off.
Yeah. So the first question is regarding the planning. I want to understand how you plan your activities, say across short term, medium term, and long term horizons. So if you could just give me an idea about how your planning involves with you and your team, that would be a good start to our interview today.
Okay. First of all, thank you for hosting me, Anish. It's a good opportunity for me to actually interact with youngsters like you, who come with new ideas and
Thank you, sir.
good and good initiatives, so that it helps us as well. Because any idea that comes from your side is also much appreciated. Now, coming back to the point that you talk about planning, the first thing in any operations world, like also we do, is to look into the inventory. Now, when the inventory is tangible, we actually put the number of people that are required to actually complete that particular inventory, and for that we have to plan according to the SLAs, which are service level agreements with the business. And within the service level agreements, we need to complete that particular inventory. And for that, manpower planning and also the facilities that are required to be provided to the employees is something that we look into.
Okay. So what part of the time goes into planning such activities? If you could share some light on that, what time do you spend? Is it at the start of the day or in a bi-weekly or once in a month where you hold review meetings that you check
Hmm.
across the inventories which you discussed? So if you could just give me a time frame, how do you balance these different timelines in your daily responsibilities, would be good.
So from a management perspective, the every start of the month, we have this workforce management planning team with which we look into the inventory. And then, example basis on the inventory, we allocate the number of FTEs who can actually complete those inventory. And if the minimum viable product that we are going to actually implement, if the plan is for, let's say, 2 months, if the service agreement is for 60 days, then every bi-weekly, we have a touch point call to understand how the progress is going on towards the completion of the inventory. And as you are aware that we work for a bank, so most of our work is with the customers. Now, when we look at the customers, we cater customers. Now, when we cater customers, we see, example, if there are around 100 volumes that get generated in an inventory, we try to understand within 60 days or the number of working days that we have, uh, which is 42. We plan accordingly, like how many people we require. That is point number one. Now, point number two, how do they work on that? For that, what kind of training is required? What kind of skills are required to be embedded to the people so that they can perform their work on a regular basis? And what are the other coaching abilities that we can provide for the people to actually groom themselves and execute the work in a proper manner? Because here, because we are a bank, we are responsible to follow the guidelines according to the regulator. Right. So when the regulatory requirements are there, according to the regulatory requirements, the process is being designed. The what do you call, the employees are trained. We also look into the well-being of the employees. Plus, we give all the necessary requirements of the employees to perform their job. Now, the second point that you picked up in terms of how frequently we interact with the people, from a senior management perspective, every bi-weekly or every weekly, we get in touch with them. We understand the ground challenges. We speak to them to see how the what you call work is being progressed on a daily basis. And in the weekly touch point calls, we look at how the work is being progressed. Are they able to do it? Are there any roadblocks? If there are any roadblocks from a senior management perspective, what are the facilities that we can provide to overcome those roadblocks? So these are a couple of things that we look into in our day-to-day activity to see the inventory and the customers are being catered properly and are being catered within these service level agreements. So that is, these are the two important things that we look from a senior management perspective.
Okay. So the second point that I want to touch upon today is the decision-making process. As we know, that is very
Yeah.
a critical part of the management exercise.
Yes.
So what critical elements do you consider when you make day-to-day decisions in your workspace? How do you
Mhm.
balance quantitative data with some qualitative insights that help you in your decision-making process?
Now, see, decision making from a senior management is the very important thing that we have to consider because day in and day out, whether the decision impact is bigger or smaller, you have to take the what you call decision on spot. You cannot lag it for a long time. Now, coming back to our day-to-day work, as I told you, we work in the financial crime world. Now, in the financial crime world, the decision making has to be quick because there will be potential money launderers who might be laundering the money and they might go through the bank process and the payments can be executed in a timely manner. And they can be, there is every possibility that the money has been can be used for what do you call illicit activities. Now, we need to take quick decisions. And in our day to day life, the decisions that we take is basis on the customer's transactions that happen. Now, if there is a transaction that is going through from country X to country Y, whether the transaction is absolutely correct or wrong is something that we need to immediately look into and execute whether the transaction can go through the system or not. So, in that way, from a process perspective, the decisions are being taken. Now, when we speak about from a senior management perspective, we look at the decisions like what set of people are required to do the job is something that we look into. And while performing the job, there will be a lot of what you call hassles from the people's perspective because we'll have people issues. We will also have process issues, systematic issues. So all these we do consider. And when we take any decisions, we take from the what you call keeping the regulator in view. And along with these decisions, we also have some controls that are placed. So the internal controls that we have actually define in terms of what you call the work is being done, and the decisions that we take are also aligned to the controls that the our organization strongly holds.
When it comes to leadership and team motivation, we know that that's a very
Mhm.
critical element as you meet people with different
True.
attitudes, different approaches, different states.
Absolutely.
That also plays a big role because we are a very diverse country. So
True.
what are your key strategies for motivating your team, your personal team? How do you ensure that your style uplifts your teammates and fosters a positive work environment?
Um, that's a good one. Now, see, from a leadership perspective, one thing that you need to look into is there are two aspects. One is the business aspect, and the other is the people aspect. Now, from the business aspect, yeah, as we discussed in the last couple of minutes, those are the business activities that we look into. But from a people's perspective, there are two key performance indicators for which every employee works towards. One is the productivity, and the other is the quality. Now, when I say the key performance indicators are productivity and quality, along with that, we need to look for the well-being of the employees as well. Now, before I answered this question, like you started off stating that there are India is a diverse country and you'll have a lot of different people with different mindsets. And when we deal with international people as well, we have
Yes.
so many what do you call mindsets because the way how we think and the people in Western countries, how do they think is entirely different. Now, how do you manage is one appreciation. That is the most important thing and rewards. Now, when
Okay.
the people are working, you need to give them the comfort of working in their what do you call style. You need to give them the what do you call the breathing space, which I feel as a leader has to be given. You need to empower them with all the necessary tools that are required to process or to work their day-to-day activity. Example, training, their rewards and recognitions, the appreciations that you give, the what do you call mm, the support that you provide to them. And when I say support, empathy is more important over here to perform better. Now, in terms of my style of working, I always give the accountability to the team member. So when I say accountability, I ask the team member to take the responsibility of doing a job. And when they are doing their job in with responsibility, then the great results come out actually. Now, while they do with a lot of responsibility, there will be people who are what do you call quite little adamant in terms of doing their job. And for that, we do conduct our regular one-to-ones with the people. We regularly catch up with them. We talk to them. We understand the ground difficulties that they are facing. And by interacting, we understand whether the employee has a will issue or a skill issue. If it is a skill issue, definitely we will try to retrain the people. We try to give them all the necessary things for them to what do you call come up to the par and perform their job in a proper manner. If it is a will issue, then we also have, as an organization, we also have a stringent mechanism of performance improvement plans. We also talk about the action plan. We do monitor their performance on a daily basis, weekly basis, also every bi-weekly basis. We try to ensure that they do their job in a perfect manner. So for the will issue also, there is a solution with the organization, and for the skill issue, definitely we empathize with the people and we retrain them to perform their jobs in a proper manner.
So just as a follow-up, I just wanted to know how
Mm.
important is honesty in communicating when somebody is not meeting the required goals of the team. So how difficult is it as a leader to communicate to your teammates that you need to pull up your socks, you need to do better than this? So that might be a little challenging aspect of communicating in leadership, is what I personally believe. So I just wanted to raise this question. So how do you deal with that?
Um, this is also a good one because we have to be honest in what you are communicating, and you have to be clear because this is an organization where we need to actually set the objectives of the employee. Now, in the beginning of the year as itself, we set the objectives of the people, stating that this is what is expected. And as I also already mentioned to you, the key performance indicators are also part of the objectives. And along with this, there in the objectives there is behavioral aspects also that we do consider. And as you are aware that there is an appraisal that happens every yearly. And for our organization, we do twice. We do a mid checkpoint after 6 months. We speak about their what do you call their objectives, whether they are meeting or not. And we do have regular one to what do you call monthly one-to-ones that we do with the staff. And because of the appraisal, the objectives are aligned to the rating that they are going to get. And the ratings are directly proportionate to the bonus and the hikes that they are going to get in the year end. So because we have also added the behavioral aspect into it, people would definitely what you call align and they will work according to the objectives. And the question that you brought up to my notice is the honesty part. Now I'll touch base on the exact point that you spoke. Now, when I say that there are monthly one-to-ones that are happening with the employee, we do communicate that are they aligned with the objectives? Are they actually meeting their KPIs, which is their key performance indicators in terms of the productivity and the quality? Plus, we also speak about the behavioral thing. How is their behavior in the office? What is the observations? Are they actually professional with their colleagues? Are they well behaved with their, especially with their female colleagues? Are they actually coming to the office in a regular manner? Are they taking any ad hoc leaves or what do you call uh, any kind of uh, uninformed, unplanned leave
Un-
kind of a thing?
Unauthorized.
So these unauthorized leave, good point. So these all are part of the behavioral aspect that is directly linked to your appraisal, which is linked to your rating and bonus and the hikes. So definitely, we have a clear communication with the employees, which are preset, and every monthly we do communicate, we do interact with the people on a regular basis.
Okay, sir.
Okay.
As we move forward, uh,
Hmm.
I would want to touch upon the expectations from your team. What do you expect from your team members in terms of, say, performance, collaboration, and say innovation? How do you communicate these expectations to ensure alignment? What are the qualities that you look for in a team? Is what I wanted to raise.
See, the most important thing that we look forward from the people is proactiveness. Because
Okay.
everyone will get see because once you enter the organization, definitely you will be taught about the values that an organization follows, plus the work that you're going to do, the proper training, everything will be provided to you. And during the training, there will be weekly targets that will be provided to you, which are which I can say cushioned targets. We don't force to work them like or give them the desired target, which in our terms we call it as BAU. So the desired targets are being what you call spread across 12 weeks of learning curve. We ask them to perform in a slow and steady manner. We ask them to achieve their quality uh, in a proper manner basis on the SLAs as I mentioned to you. And after these all tools are being provided and after the 12 weeks of learning curve is also completed, that's when our expectation starts. Now, our expectation is, as I told you in my 10 minutes back, in one of the questions I answered you, stating that we have a service level agreement with the regulator that the customers will be catered within 30 days or 60 days, depending on country to country. The regulators' SLAs changes. Now, basis on the SLA, if the what do you call if we commit to the regulator that yes, within 30 days we are going to complete or answer all the queries for the customer, the ground reality is the people has to produce that and they have to provide us with that particular deadline. If they are not providing, then as I mentioned to you, from the behavioral aspect, we look from a will issue or a skill issue. And if it is skill issue, we upgrade the people by giving constant training, constant sessions and support and all that stuff. If it is a will issue, as I told you, we have a process to follow. Okay, I hope I answered your question.
Yes, right, sir. Yes.
Okay.
Now, I wanted to talk about some skills for your current particular role.
Mm.
In your opinion, what skills are mandatory to excel in your current position? How did you develop these skills, and how do you continue to enhance these skills?
Okay. So in my position, technically, I work for a financial crime compliance background. Now, to work in the financial crime compliance background, definitely you need to have a couple of certifications like ACAMS, which is an Association of Certified Anti-Money Laundering Specialists, which is a certification given by the US. So this is an association which is in US, and I'm part of that particular association. So what happens is this gives you an international expertise of performing this particular job. Now, along with this, I'm also a certified Scrum product owner, and doing this certification also helped me to excel in my what you call current role and also to excel in the work that I'm doing. Um, the skills that you would require is one, the experience, because I have an overall experience of around 19 years. And with the experience, you understand people because people management is definitely it comes through experience. I will not tell you that you will get the what you call people manager role as soon as you get graduated. But yeah, there will be what you call everyday learning. And the other aspect to excel in my role that I'm working right now is everyday learning because money laundering is something that happens on a regular basis in different aspects. The uh, the techniques that are being used get upgraded on a daily basis. Now, when they are upgrading on a daily basis, you need to be on the top of the toes. You have to learn on a daily basis to excel the work that you are doing. But for the people manager role, it comes through the experience and with the different people interaction, different mindsets, you get to learn on a daily basis. And from the innovation perspective, yeah, I have done my Lean Six Sigma green belt. So the Lean Six Sigma, you might have heard about the Lean Six Sigma concept.
Yes.
So the Lean Six Sigma concept talks about how do you actually do your job in a proper manner, in a smarter way. So that is something that certification also I have done. And right now I am pursuing my professional management, project management professional course, which will also help me to actually enhance the current job that I'm currently doing.
So everyday learning is critical. We need to be ready to
Absolutely.
acquire new things every single day. And in a job
Absolutely.
profile like yours, you have said that you need to be ahead of the curve, ahead of our financial criminals who are
Yes.
getting smarter day by day. So we need to be smarter than them.
Yes.
Fantastic, sir. Uh,
Absolutely. Absolutely.
I'll just touch base upon your some about your journey, which you had described as a 19 years journey in this particular field, management field. I just wanted to
Yep.
know about what are the
Yes.
changes you kept noticing after you were promoted in your responsibilities? What significant changes did you notice in your responsibilities, in your decision-making processes, and the team dynamics after you're being promoted to your current role? How do you adapt to these changes? What are the changes that you want to make you as you keep moving forward up the ranks in your organization?
See, when I started my career way back, like 19 years ago, the process was lengthy. So when we used to work, the process was very manual. We started off working on newspaper cuttings. We used to read those newspaper cuttings to understand the money laundering techniques that were happening. We used to get those scanned documents. And uh, throughout my career, I have learned in that way. Then all of a sudden, what do you call, the paper cutting stopped. Then we got the access to the Google. Earlier, we never used to have the Google access because it was restricted. Because there is every possibility that the customer information might go out. So then they have actually initially they did not provide to us, but then we got the Google access. We tried to research on the what do you call, potential money launderers in Google. Then we got different tools. The tools were getting enhanced. And when I was a trainer, I used to train people basis on the knowledge that I had. Then, as I mentioned to you, I got promoted as an assistant manager in 2013, where I was handling a very smaller team of around 15 to 20 people. Then I understood how the people's mindsets would be. Always being polite with everyone would not work out because you cannot satisfy all the 20 people in your team.
Absolutely,
Uh,
sir.
initially, the mindset would be like you wanted to be in the good books of all the 20 people reporting to you, but that doesn't happen. So every time you evolve, you learn. And then I got promoted as a manager, and I was handling close to around 90 people in my team. And then I understood how do you motivate the leaders to get the work done by your team members. So that was the other challenge that I had. And then I got promoted as an AVP in 2019, and I was handling around 146 people in my team. So that was also slightly challenging. And while I was learning and I was evolving in my career, the process was also getting changed. Now, at that time, the automation tools came into the picture. We tried to automate the manual work that we were doing. We used to have the robotics-based application on which I have worked for a couple of years, and which we implemented successfully, and that has reduced a lot of manual efforts that we put in on a day-to-day basis. And then we had what do you call, the AI coming into the picture. Now, artificial intelligence. Now, what has happened is earlier, to identify the money launderers, we used to have thresholds which were preset. Now, the thresholds are being set basis on the artificial intelligence data that we get. Now, the customers or the what do you call, the money launderers that we are identifying on a daily basis is basis on the AI. And in between, the data was in servers for our organization, which now is what do you call, transferring to cloud. So I was part of that project which actually transferred the data from servers to cloud. So I was working as a project manager with the same organization, and we used to provide the minimum viable product, which was a new thing for me because AI is something that I was unaware of. Because that is something that we learned, we evolved. So to keep my answer very short, while I was growing in my career, I was upgrading on a regular basis because every day the technology was changing.
Correct,
Now,
sir.
even now, the AI is actually has taken over, and we are trying to adopt the AI in the next 5 years. So, after 5 years, the manual effort that is being put right now will be further reduced, and whatever information we can do, it will be done by the AI. And when I say AI is going to do the work, we have also planned for the controls in place where the AI output is absolutely should be the perfect one. So we have also planned for some controls in place within the organization. Yeah.
So the last thing that I wanted to discuss in
Mhm.
with respect to the management concepts is
Mhm.
conflict resolution. When you said you
Yes.
herald such a big team, it's obvious that there will be conflicts within your team between departments. So how do
Yeah.
you analyze and assess that? Because it is difficult to always gain first-hand information. So like what exactly
True.
transpired between people? So how would you want to effectively take care of such a situation? Could you describe any situation where you could resolve a conflict? What is the thought process behind resolving such issues that creep up in any organization?
See, conflict management is something that is on a daily basis. You usually get, whether it's a small one or a big one, definitely the conflict comes into the picture on a regular basis. Now, from the senior management perspective, I wouldn't say that all the conflicts are being resolved by us. We
Okay.
require additional support from an organization perspective. Depending on the conflict that you get, you require the HR support as well, and also the senior management, the people who are on top of me, whom I report. We require their support as well to resolve the conflicts. So, if it depends on how the impact is going to be, whether it is if it is a personal basis conflict, then we try to resolve it within by doing discussions. With the discussion, we follow that and we resolve them within the protocol, and also we abide by the HR rules that we have. So, based on the HR rules that our organization strictly follows, we abide by that. If there are anything that is beyond our control, beyond our what do you call purview, then we take help from the senior management to intervene and help us to resolve the conflicts.
Okay,
Yeah.
sir. One last question, which I wanted to ask about your personal education. How has any of your MBA or any further education influenced your approach to management, so that people watching this video would understand the importance if they want to end up in your role? Do you believe that it has provided you with some sort of a competitive edge in your role?
Absolutely. If you see, if I talk about my education background, I have done my MBA from JNTU, Kakinada. So I have done my MBA in HR and marketing. While I was studying my MBA, it definitely gave me a lot of perspective in terms of how a management person thinks about it and what are the different aspects that are required for you to actually understand the work that you're going to perform. While I've done my HR and marketing, right now I'm working in a money laundering stream. Although the streams are entirely different because I've not done my core HR kind of a work, but though that knowledge has always helped me in actually implementing on my day-to-day work that I am doing, and it also influenced the way how I am actually working today. So my only suggestion to youngsters like you is when you're doing an MBA, take every step very seriously, understand the concept well, rather than just what you call by hearting or reading it through and putting it on paper and getting some marks. What I would suggest is understand three aspects of it: why it got what you call generated, what is it that you're going to do, when you're going to implement it. So the learning that you have, that you learn, you always have to go to the root cause analysis. You should do the root cause analysis of that particular subject. Now, when you do the root cause analysis of the subject or a concept, you understand why did it come, what is the reason for us to actually study in the MBA or in the post graduation, what did I learn out of it, when am I going to implement it. And when you actually understand the concept really well, in your future, when you're trying to work on something, that's when this concept will come to your mind and you will implement that over there. You understood? So my only suggestion would be to take every subject, every point, or every chapter, or every paragraph very seriously, understand the root cause analysis of it, understand the concept of it, and trust me, there will be one day when you will again refer back to that particular point because that will be useful for you to implement in your day-to-day life. Okay. And
Yeah.
and also to make a point, you can use those points in your professional life, and sometimes it also helps you to plan accordingly in your personal life as well. Okay. And I hope
Yes, sir.
I answered
Yes, sir.
brief.
Thank
Yeah,
you very
good.
much for your insightful answers. It was a very didactic experience for me, and
No
I'm sure
worries.
everybody listening would agree with me. So thank you very much for taking some time to answer my questions. That would conclude
Thank
our
you.
interview today. Thank you very much, sir. Thank
Thank
you.
you, Anish. Thank you, Anish. And thank you for hosting me, and all the best for your future. Bye.
Thank you very much.